As November arrives, the Pacific Northwest enters the Big Dark, a season of early sunsets, endless gray skies, and persistent rain. The sun becomes a rare guest and daily routines shift, rain jackets by the door, plans made around the forecast, and the warm glow of indoor lights offering comfort from the chill. The landscape transforms, emerald greens deepen, the air thickens with the scent of wet earth, and a collective lethargy can set in as daylight fades. Yet, there's a unique coziness. Warm drinks by the fire, books read to the rhythm of rain, and a shared appreciation for the dramatic stormy skies. November is the wettest month for much of Washington and Oregon, as meteorological patterns shift and storms funnel moisture directly into the region. The protective summer high pressure weakens, opening the door for a relentless parade of Pacific storms. These systems bring the soaking rains that replenish our water resources after a dry summer and autumn. Even as the rain returns, it often falls on a landscape still recovering from drought, making the arrival of the Big Dark both a relief and a challenge. The gloom may be daunting, but it's also the start of a crucial recharge for our rivers, forests, and reservoirs. The Big Dark is more than weather, it's a defining mood and a vital part of the Pacific Northwest's identity. November days in the Pacific Northwest are a showcase of clouds, rain, and wind. Mornings often begin under a low, unbroken stratus deck, with fog filling valleys and obscuring mountain views. Rain is the main event, sometimes a misty drizzle, sometimes a relentless downpour, all feeding the region's lush greenery. The rain's intensity depends on the storm. A weak front brings light showers, while an atmospheric river unleashes torrents. Wind is the third player, driven by powerful low-pressure systems spinning off the Pacific. Coastal areas and exposed locations face the strongest gusts, but even inland cities like Seattle and Portland feel the bluster. Leaves swirl, umbrellas invert, and power outages are common. These elements rarely act alone. Clouds, rain, and wind are intertwined in the classic November storm sequence. A typical storm starts with thickening clouds, then rain intensifies as the front arrives, followed by a surge of wind. After the front passes, brief sunbreaks may appear, only to be chased away by another squall. This ever-shifting wet pattern is the essence of a Pacific Northwest November. The weather is rarely static. Each day is a new mix of gloom, rain, and wind. It's a dynamic, challenging, and oddly invigorating time of year. The November deluge is driven by the jet stream, a high-altitude wind that shifts south as the northern hemisphere cools. In summer, a high-pressure ridge keeps storms at bay, but by November, the jet stream points straight at Washington and Oregon, opening a direct path for Pacific storms. These storms, fueled by the clash of polar and subtropical air, gather moisture as they cross the ocean. When they hit land, they unleash heavy rain, often in rapid succession. The Pacific Ocean acts as a vast reservoir, feeding storms with warmth and moisture, even as air temperatures drop. As cool air passes over the relatively warm ocean, evaporation loads the atmosphere with water vapor, priming storms for intense rainfall. The region's coastline, perpendicular to the incoming flow, offers no barrier. Storms slam ashore with full force. The relentless storm track, supercharged jet stream, and moisture-rich Pacific combine to make November the official start of the wet season. This setup is classic mid-latitude storm behavior, but the Pacific Northwest's geography amplifies its effects. The result, a month defined by powerful soaking storms. Atmospheric rivers, long, narrow bands of concentrated water vapor, are the Pacific Northwest's most dramatic rainmakers. These rivers in the sky can carry as much moisture as the Amazon, delivering intense rainfall for 24 to 48 hours or more. The Pineapple Express, a well-known type, brings warm, wet air from Hawaii, sometimes causing rain to fall on snow and triggering rapid flooding. Not all atmospheric rivers are tropical, but all can unleash several inches of rain in a day, overwhelming rivers and drainage systems. Scientists now rate atmospheric rivers from AR1, weak, to AR5, exceptional, to communicate their potential impact. These events are vital for breaking droughts and building snowpack, but their intensity makes them a major hazard each November. When an atmospheric river is forecast, communities prepare for both the benefits and the risks. The Olympic and Cascade Mountains are key players in our weather story. As moist Pacific air hits these ranges, it's forced upward, cooling, condensing, and dumping rain or snow on the windward slopes. This orographic lift explains why places like Forks are among the wettest in the US, while towns in the rain shadow like Sequim stay much drier. The mountains also determine whether precipitation falls as rain or snow, depending on the freezing level. Early November storms often bring rain to even the highest peaks, but as winter deepens, snow begins to accumulate at lower elevations. This snowpack acts as a natural reservoir, storing water for the dry months ahead. The heavy November precipitation marks the start of this crucial process, building the foundation for our summer water supply. The mountains milk Pacific storms for all they're worth, shaping the region's climate and water resources. The interplay of storms and topography is what makes the Pacific Northwest's weather so unique and so vital. Every November storm is part of a larger cycle that sustains the region year-round. Forecasting Pacific Northwest weather is a challenge, even for the best computer models. Models like the European and American systems start with current atmospheric data, then simulate how weather will evolve. But small errors, especially over the vast data-sparse Pacific, can lead to big differences in forecasts just days later. The region's complex terrain and shifting storm tracks amplify this uncertainty. Forecasters compare multiple models, weigh their biases, and use ensemble forecasting, running models many times with slight variations, to gauge confidence. When models agree, forecasts are more certain. When they diverge, forecasters communicate the range of possible outcomes. This probabilistic approach helps the public understand not just what might happen, but how likely it is. November is peak flood season in the Pacific Northwest, thanks to heavy rain-saturated soils and bare mountains. With little snowpack to absorb moisture, rain runs off quickly, swelling streams and rivers, sometimes to dangerous levels. Atmospheric rivers and warm storms can trigger rapid flooding, especially when rain falls on early snow, compounding runoff. Drought can make things worse. Dry soils initially repel water, increasing immediate runoff before they become saturated. Rivers can rise dramatically, catching residents off guard. Authorities issue flood warnings, urging preparedness and caution. Never drive through flooded roads. Managing flood risk is a year-round effort, but November demands special vigilance. The deluges are vital for water supply, but their power is a constant reminder of nature's force. While rain drenches the lowlands, November marks the start of snow season in the Cascades and Olympics. Early storms often bring rain or slush to the passes, but as the month progresses and freezing levels drop, heavy wet snow begins to accumulate. This cascade concrete forms a dense, durable base. Challenging for skiers but perfect for building the winter snowpack. The snow line creeps lower with each storm, gradually covering the mountains. This snowpack is the region's frozen reservoir, ensuring water for agriculture, rivers, and power through the dry months. A healthy November snow base sets the stage for the rest of winter. The connection is direct. The gloomy rains in the cities mean bounty in the mountains. November storms are the first step in sustaining the Pacific Northwest all year. Navigating storm season means staying informed and prepared. Rely on official forecasts and warnings from the National Weather Service, and supplement with trusted local sources. Prepare for power outages. Keep emergency kits, batteries, food, and water on hand. Secure outdoor items and clear gutters to prevent wind damage and local flooding. Travel with caution. Never drive through flooded roads, and check mountain pass conditions before heading out. Carry chains and emergency supplies if crossing the mountains, and postpone travel during major storms when possible. Understanding the rhythm of the Big Dark helps us appreciate its role in our region's cycle. By staying alert and prepared, we can safely weather the season and respect the forces that shape our home.